SEC for Rickea Jackson. Jewel Spears going to make her debut tonight for the Lady Vols in the opening tip, controlled by USA Basketball. What a game, what an exhibition. All the talent assembled on this court here this evening. Inside looking for Griner and stolen away by Jackson.
Maybe unselfish there by Copper. She had the mid-range pull-up.
And the deep three goes down for Sarah Puckett.
And one of the things Kelly Harper, the head coach of Tennessee, asked her team to do is compete. They're locking in on the defensive end for their second possession on this end of the floor.
Rossi, Atkins, Copper, Laney, and Griner, the starting five. Team USA will pull from a pool of 35 players to go to Paris in 2024. That officially will be referred to as Team USA. Mid-range jumper's good. It's 3-2. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Atkins buried the first points. USA Basketball. Destiny Wells, the Belmont transfer, back outside. Another three, and this one short. Spear is off the mark. And in transition, offensive foul. Copper out of control. She'll pick up her first. Aaliyah Copper picks up the personal.
You have to obtain legal guarding position, which she does. That is a tremendous defensive play inside. Good hustle in transition. On the other end, you notice you can't over-penetrate against the USA women's team because Brittany Griner at 6'9" is just protecting the rim inside.
3 blocks a game in her pro career. That leads the W. Off the miss, here comes USA Basketball. Atkins split the defenders and connects. 4-3.
Getting a good look at Destiny Wells running the point. This is Jewel Spear, 2 transfers out of the portal for Tennessee.
And a good look inside to Jackson. Lady Vols back in front.
Yeah, I really like this backcourt of Wells, Spear, and Rickea Jackson. I think this is going to be the look for Tennessee.
Looking for Taurasi, out of bounds. Atkins turns it over.
Watch the transition game right here of Ariel Atkins through contact. Great finish at the rim. And a nice penetration and good fill behind by Rickea Jackson.
Look at the early three, 2.5 minutes in. Top of the key, Strickland off the mark. It's the U.S. women's team. Atkins running the point. Griner with position and fouled over the back. That'll be Strickland's first. Kelly Harper, year number 5 in Knoxville. She actually competed against Team USA back in 1995. Back-to-back Sweet 16s, and Debbie Antonelli just indicated she thinks that they could go a little further this year if things develop right.
I do, because of what they got out of the portal, their ability to score. This team's going to have to figure out how to defend 3 levels. And without Tamari Key on the floor right now, who's the best shot blocker in Tennessee history, when she's healthy and can go, because they're being patient with her from last season, I think this is a team that's going to get better and better. We're just getting an early look in November.
The season officially begins in 2 days for the Lady Vols. Florida A&M comes to Knoxville. Taurasi open for 3 and count it. We watched her in pregame warm-ups. There is a crispness to her game from anywhere on the court where you feel like it's going in, and obviously she's one of the all-time greats.
Well, if you watch how quickly she gets her feet down coming off that Laney screen, then you know why her release is so quick.
She also played for Team USA in this arena back in 2007. An open look for Spear. Griner lost the handle, tracked down by Hollenshed, who just checked in. The rebound, up and in the reverse by Jackson.
Rickea Jackson has to be on the glass this season. Jordan Horston was on this team last year, and she was a tremendous rebounder and a really good on-ball defender.
Taurasi back-to-back threes. Give her 6.
Doesn't need a lot of separation. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be fun watching Diana Taurasi do her thing.
You mentioned it. She's going for her 6th gold medal. Winning at 04, 08, 2012, 16, and obviously 20. All eyes on Paris next year. She told us earlier today, you know, the game really hasn't changed. Going back to that first gold medal, looking for 3 in a row. Yes!
Go ahead,
Bottoms!
Diane. I've been waiting to say this for a long time, Diana Taurasi. You shoot till your arm falls off. 3 triples already in the first, 4 minutes of play? Come on, Roy. This is great.
It's
right?
fantastic. It is. 13-7. And a foul on Atkins trying to penetrate through the screen.
Look how quickly her feet are set. Brittany Griner, little brush screen right there, little flip behind. Taurasi sticks it. 3 triples. Let's go ahead. I mean, only want to set the under over right now. 7, 6.
I mean, it's going to be in that ballpark. She has anything to say about it.
I think there's something about Orange and Tennessee that she likes as well.
Well, you go back to UConn's last 2 national championships when she was playing, and it came against the Lady Vols.
Right.
Tennessee were the runner-ups in 03 and 04. And she wondered with us earlier, was she going to get booed in this arena tonight? And I don't think we've heard that just yet. We told her, I don't think so.
No, I think these fans have so much respect for great basketball and for excellence. They are familiar with it. They understand it. I think there was a time when they would have booed her, but not anymore.
Yeah, maybe a decade ago, but time heals all wounds.
Just that rivalry reason.
Fantastic.
No other reason why.
Yeah. Off the inbounds. Tess Darby off the mark. Out of bounds, it'll stay on this end. Oh, just underway. 4th time that USA Basketball has met with Tennessee. Lady Vols did win a game back in 1999. These matchups.
Well, that was when the Samika, Lady Vol fans know who those great players in history were.
Been some great matchups. The last meeting back in 07. Jackson too strong. Comes Jackie Young. Rossi scored the last 9 for USA Hoops.
That's what you call a boomerang pass right there. Diana Taurasi recognized a mismatch Jackie Young had with Rakia Jackson on her, and this is an unselfish Team USA or USA women's team.
Griner
We're not supposed to call them Team USA anymore, right?
That was something that we had to try to figure out earlier today, because Team USA is when the official team is assembled to go to the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024. Rejection by Griner against Hollingshed. Young the transition triple. Jackson the rebound. Let's look at Jasmine Powell. Started her career at Minnesota. Defended by Taurasi. Powell for 3. Quick trigger connects.
Good job by Tennessee to read the defense. USA switching. Taurasi late on that closeout on a switch.
High ball screen for Young with Griner drifting. And now the elbow J.
That shot was a little bit off balance. Maybe another rotation. Switch sides of the floor one more time.
Jackson. Powell gets it.
Rakia Jackson adds that to her game, and she becomes really challenging to defend in a college game.
Nice move by Sarah Puckett. She's got 5.
And I'm not saying Jackson can't shoot it. She can shoot it, but she's 0 for 2, and that's an open look, and you got to knock those down.
Griner with the mid-range short. Tracked down by Powell. 1 possession game, 3:20 to go in a fast-moving first quarter. Line change coming in. The USA women's team. Coached by Cheryl Reed, head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. Hollingshed, no. Taurasi the rebound.
One thing Taurasi has always done well is advanced pass and transition.
Lady, the drop step, nicely done.
I mean, she is tough, she is strong. I think she's a tremendous teammate. Benijah Laney.
Darby for 3.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part about Tennessee's offense is they spread the floor. When they run it, they've got size on the perimeter. They've got shooters. They've got more depth this year because of what they got out of the portal.
8-2 run by UT puts the Lady Vols back in it.
This is a great take. Little step through, great footwork on the inside. Team USA of her shot, and it's beautiful. And you're right, we watched her. First player out to warm up. No surprise there.
She expected to be booed tonight. That has not been the case given her success at UConn against the Lady Vols back in the day. And one of the all-time greats at the free throw line.
Well, nobody scored more points than she has in the WNBA. And, you know, I often think that the international style of play at some time, it used to be less physical and allowed Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird to have extended years in playing for the Olympic team. Plus their skill set, their IQ and their knowledge, the experience. The one thing I noticed about Diana today is, you know, she's such a great leader by example. Every bit of her body language is so positive in practice. She's constantly high-fiving, she's talking. When the coaches speak, she's leaning in. She'll even step towards them, makes eye contact, all the things that you want players to do when you're a coach. It just builds great synergy around the team.
Well, there's great synergy, too, this morning as both of these programs met at midcourt after USA Basketball's practice. And Diana Taurasi addressed the Lady Vols. Ionescu off the mark, the rebound by Jackson. And she gave them a lot of nice advice, I thought. She said, hey, if I could press any button, go back to college and compete all over again, I would do it. Enjoy every moment that you have as a collegiate player. Here in Knoxville, Ionescu, nice penetrating drive up and in for her first two.
And see, here's going to be the difference for Tennessee. Like, you're going to make a mistake. You just can't make back-to-back. That's two transition opportunities that Team USA women's basketball team had going up the floor. That's 3 turnovers in a row.
Here's Aaliyah Boston. No stranger to this arena from her time at South Carolina. Rookie of the year in the WNBA. Jackie Young off glass.
And I'm sure Coach Harper wants her team to learn to play through this, right? Because you don't want to burn a timeout right now. You might want to need one later when you get into conference play later on in the season.
It's a 6-0 run in about 67 seconds. Under a minute to go in our first quarter.
So you have a really good 2-for-1 opportunity here.
Runner off the mark by Darby. Alicia Gray in traffic. Offensive foul. Now Kaya Wynn had position inside.
Remember, we're playing the college rules, and it's a new rule this year, is there's no more lower defensive box. There's no more restricted. That arc is not the restricted area for women's college game. The arc is now directly underneath the basket.
This was a rule change year, so there are some new rules implemented.
See Destiny Wells back on the floor after Tennessee out of rhythm, turning the ball over.
Trailing by 8-second differential between the clocks. And Wynn traveled. Cheryl Reeve, head coach for USA Basketball, also, of course, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. She's been a part of this program multiple runs as an assistant previously.
Well, she has a Hall of Fame resume. She's got 4 WNBA titles, and she has done a remarkable job. I remember Cheryl Reeve when she was a head coach at Indiana State, playing in the Missouri Valley.
Boston bothered by Key and tapped out of bounds back to the Lady Vols. How long ago was that?
A long time ago.
Desperation heave up, and Wells comes up short.
You know, they make it hard, you know? And this team should make it hard, right? That's what they're. I mean, they're pros, and we're about, what is that? About 5 turnovers in a row here. So we've got to. Oh, good tip. We've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. We've got to get open on the wings. We've got to get a group in there that's going to work to get open. But yeah.
Coach, it's good to see Tamari Key in there getting some minutes. What do you expect to see out of her?
Yeah, you know, just that's what we're doing. We're trying to find more minutes for her, trying to extend those, get her more comfortable each and every minute, each and every day she's playing. I think she's doing a good job in practices. Obviously, she changes the look of the team offensively and defensively.
Coach, thank you for the time. Good luck rest of the way.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Kelly Harper, year number 5, leading the Lady Vols. Inside Jackie Young, the lead swells to 12.
It's been impressive, the defensive effort by the USA basketball team, right? I mean, they're forcing turnovers in the top part of the floor, and that is allowing them to get their transition going the other way, and their team speed is outstanding.
As Coach said, as it should be. It's what you would expect. Puckett. Turnaround, no. Ionescu, the rebound.
Look at that advanced pass. It's beautiful. What a find up the court by Sabrina. You watch how hard and how wide USA basketball runs the floor. They have transition opportunity after another right now because they are getting out on the break. And you know, dribbling through is a lot slower than advanced passing it. Sabrina finds lots of options up the court ahead of the ball.
What a season she had with the New York Liberty, advancing to the finals. And a tremendous year. The former #1 draft pick back in 2020 led the Ducks of Oregon to the Final Four.
We love talking to her about those Sabrina 1 she's wearing that has the colorways of USA basketball.
Debbie, the shoe game is strong, and
yeah,
I'm imagining they're sold out at a lot of places around the country.
She said, good luck finding them. I said, well, you know, I'm on Candace Parker's friends and family list. I mean, I only have 4 pairs of those.
You threw it out there
I did.
quickly.
She looked at me like I was crazy, right? I said, don't worry about it. I can afford my own shoes.
You went in asking, hey, what can you do? I'm sitting there eating my popcorn off to the side.
No, Sabrina was delightful speaking to her. I mean, she's getting married in the spring. She's
very excited about that. Yeah.
You know, we love the personality of the players in the W.
12-0 run for USA basketball. 2 minutes into our second quarter. Here's Jackson off the high ball screen. Little pick and roll instead. The free throw line jumper is good.
See, they clear it out. You go 2-man side. You get a great look by Rakia Jackson going to her right hand off that screen.
Jackie Young for 3. And was bumped by Wells. That'll be her second.
Watch this screen right here. Hollingshead completely takes Alicia Gray out, and then Rakia Jackson doesn't over-penetrate. If you can take 2 strong dribbles and you can get to the nail in the middle of the floor, you better pull up and stick that.
Let me ask you this, Debbie. How difficult is it for a team to come together like USA basketball in short order and to play like a team? If you're Cheryl Reeve, I mean, that can't be an easy thing just right out of the gate. We're going to gel. We're all going to be egoless.
Well, there's 2 things, right? You got to play defense. And the second thing is if you can constantly play in transition, you don't have to worry about running a lot of stuff in the quarter court. Now, at some point, she may want to slow the game down so they can work on those things. But right now, they're D'ing up, rebounding, they're getting deflections and steals, and they are pushing up the floor, and I think every coach would like to play like that.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Certainly. 31-17. Hollingshead will send it down to Jackson. The quick turnaround is short, and she rushed that.
See, she had a little mouse in the house action inside. You got to finish that at the front of the rim.
Ryan Howard, a quick trigger. Aaliyah Boston on the offensive glass. Ionescu for 3. She's going to make that 9 times out of 10. That wide open.
Especially when she can step into it like that. 128 made threes. The most in the league this season.
What is the value for Tennessee in an exhibition like this, 2 days away from the season opener? I got to think that this is going to help you facing this good, this talented of a team.
I mean, look right there what Rakia Jackson has done in the last two buckets that she's made at the nail. Okay, the physicality of the USA basketball team is going to be unlike most teams that you play. Now, there is a challenging schedule in front of Tennessee.
Howard for 3.
If you can play through this contact and you can execute and you can move the ball. Those are things that you'll be looking for. Tribute to Nikki McCrae Pinson in the last break, and it's pretty emotional in here. Standing ovation, and you know what? Cancer sucks.
Timeout. Tennessee with the basketball. Lady Vols back to work. Avery Strickland, the transfer from Pitt. Left-handed layup, too strong. Puckett crowded for a moment, and now off glass goes Hollingshed.
Well, that's one thing Tennessee has done well against USA basketball. That's 6 offensive rebounds in this first half.
This women's team has outscored the Lady Vols by 8 in this quarter. In and out for Boston, and the rebound cleared by Strickland. As a player, when you get starstruck when Ionescu comes right out to defend you, or Taurasi drains a 3, working against that kind of talent, no problem for Avery Strickland from downtown.
I think you want to compete because these professional players have been college players before they got to this point, so they understand what it was like on the other side.
Alicia Gray, the response.
Talent respects talent, right?
Indeed.
And competitors respect competitors.
Same thing in broadcasting. Rossi, Griner set to check back in alongside of Blaney and Copper. Shot clock under 10.
See, with 10 seconds on the shot clock, that's where Powell's got to go back and get the ball, because you can't leave Hollingshed stuck up top here. This is just a good fill behind by Strickland, who makes her first triple in a Lady Vol uniform in an exhibition game. And then Alicia Gray on the other side.
You mentioned to me earlier today, as you see Gray, the South Carolina and North Carolina standout. You really think Strickland can do a lot of things here with her shooting ability, what she brings to the table for Coach Harper?
Well, I think Strickland, Destiny Wells, and Jewel Spear all are going to help Tennessee in a big way on both sides of the ball. And that's plus 1,400 points and 197 combined threes out of the portal. And now you got to take care of the basketball. You've got size on the inside. As you take a look at the transfers now, Talasia Cooper is not eligible to play this year.
She looked good in warm-ups today.
She killed him on the scout team.
Just saying.
Yeah, she's not eligible this year because she transferred outside the portal window closing, which I didn't even know that was such, there's rules?
There are
know
rules.
There were rules.
There are not many. Powell nearly banked that one in at the horn. There's a couple of rules. The window is significant. Griner top of the key.
The window is changing, which I think will be a good thing for everyone, players and coaches.
Griner left open for a minute. Hollingshed working hard inside.
This is part of the versatility that I like about Tennessee. Hollingshed, you know, Rakia Jackson at the 4. She can play the 3 or a 4, but I think she's a natural 4.
BG inside from Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi sees the pass ahead of the pass. You know, she is so good, and plus her chemistry with Brittany is great because they play together in Phoenix.
Jackson with position and then swatted away by Copper.
It's a good job of fronting the post by Copper.
Griner back to work inside out, and an open look for Laney from downtown. Here comes Powell. Lady Vols in transition. And then stolen. Mid-jump by Atkins. USA basketball, the easy layup by Copper. And the lead expands to 20.
Got to get open on the wing right now, and it's tough.
USA women's team shooting 64%. Lady Vols at 36. Shot clock down to 5. Powell open for a moment. Rebound by Hollingshed.
And she's done a good job on the glass. See, she could have set a screen right there for Rakia Jackson, but Jackson doesn't need one.
Baseline J was silky smooth.
I mean, and the thing about Rakia Jackson is I love the pace that she's playing with. She hasn't forced anything. You know she wants to play in the W.
Taurasi to Griner.
Just unselfish. I mean, that's automatic at the elbow for Diana. She would love this reference to the Kobe kill box, right? If you can get to the paint, you get to the nail. Kobe used to say he would kill you in there. He'd either make a shot or he'd make a play for his teammates. And she's so good at getting to that kill box.
The balls get back on Atkins. Bounce pass Copper. Corner three is good.
7 triples in the first half. And part of it is because Team USA is playing in transition and Tennessee's got to do a better job of matching up to the three-point line.
USA basketball in search of its 8th consecutive Olympic gold medal in Paris in 2024. Evaluation process continues right up through the Final Four weekend in April. Jackson from downtown, she's got 13. That's her first triple.
Yeah, I like I said again, it's the pace. It's her rhythm. She can't get sped up. You see some maturity in her game.
And she's thinking, hey, it's going to be a year from now where hopefully I'm competing against these kinds of players.
We'll see what the draft lottery brings forward for who's coming out and who's staying. A lot of players have options.
Hollingshed the fade away. That was sweet.
It's a bigger lineup on the floor right now for Tennessee.
Debbie, that may be the one area USA basketball, that box is probably not checked. What we're seeing tonight, you see Griner on the floor with her frame, but they're not the biggest team.
They only have 2 posts. Boston is the other. Hollingshed, look at that little step back. Hey, listen, when the big girls can put it down on the floor like that at 6'5" and have that kind of footwork, I love it.
Junior from Gainesville, Georgia. Lead back down to 18, approaching a minute to go in our first half.
You got to be stronger with the ball right there. It's a good cut to get open.
In transition, Laney connects to the mid-range.
I tell you what, I remember when Laney couldn't make a 3. Now she's an all-star. Big part of New York's run this year in the W.
Shed from downtown, not that time. Just 2 of 8 in that department a year ago, and a foul deep in the backcourt as Atkins tried to move forward. And we welcome those now tuning in on SEC Network inside of Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. USA basketball in the house. Final exhibition game for the Lady Vols. Preseason ranked number 11. And the score tells the story. 51-31. 7 of 12 from downtown. 9 quick points in a burst. Diana Taurasi back in our first quarter. And it's been a comfortable advantage since then.
Well, Team USA and the USA women's basketball team, I should say, 7 triples in the first half. They're shooting combined 65.5% from the floor in the first half. Tennessee has turned the ball over in the live situation, which has allowed USA women to tilt the floor, if you will, in transition. And it looks like the Lady Vols have done a good job on the offensive glass. And Rakia Jackson has had an excellent first half against what will be her peers next year in the WNBA.
She's got 13, hasn't forced the action. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, glad you could join us tonight. Final possession of our first half. And Powell picked up by Atkins. Check that, that was Wells. And now Wells hits the deck. Bumped by Griner and number 7 in red, white, and blue.
So it's the flat screen, which allows Wells to go either way. She goes to the left, and then she puts her defender in jail on her hip and draws that foul. That is a high-level, high IQ play, knowing time and score here late in the possession.
Hollingshed, Tamari Key has it. Spear lost it. 20 minutes in the books here in Knoxville. And USA basketball, 21-point advantage at the break.
Excellent first half for the season progresses.
All of that is fine and dandy. Griner inside, maintains possession, and the spin is too strong. The story of our first two quarters was Diana Taurasi, at the end of our interview, saying, "Go Vols." The former UConn Husky national champion that eliminated Tennessee in back-to-back national championship games.
Roy, she just stirred it up a little bit. You know what?
I
She's
think
just
so.
having some fun. You know, one of the things she said is that if she could push the button and go back, she would love to be back in college. She had such a good time, and she really sent a good message to the players. Look how smooth that is. Usually she knocks that down.
All-time leading scorer in WNBA history. The lead remains 21. Lady Vols back to work.
I thought Team USA did a good job of guarding personnel as well. They went over the top of the players they needed to on screening action. They went under the others. And see, there's a penetration into nowhere.
Laney, the bounce pass, and that's going to be kicked back to Copper. Griner, the mid-range. Atkins, the follow.
Atkins might have got away with a little push there.
There was a definite push in the back. Everybody's shaking the rust off here. Broadcasters, teams, and I don't know, maybe veteran officiating crews.
Maybe there are some new rules. We are playing with the college rules.
Bucket from downtown. Griner lost the handle. She'll get it back ahead to Taurasi. Copper, in and out.
See, there's an example of Diana Taurasi knows Tennessee's going to switch, so she dribbles into that handoff, knowing that Copper can get to her right hand going downhill. Little subtle things that Taurasi does on the floor that just makes everybody better.
There's the Belmont transfer, Destiny Wells. Had a path, couldn't finish. 1-on-2, and now Taurasi sends it outside, and an open three is off the mark. That was Copper again.
Jackson doesn't have numbers here, doing a smart thing.
And a foul called. Puckett hit the deck, and she was shoved that time by Copper, her second.
That was good recognition right there that Puckett was going to have an advantage in the paint with her size. Although I will say, playing with a smaller lineup, because that's what USA team is playing with. Griner inside and then 4 guards. They've done a good job of fronting the posts when they've been stuck on those matchups inside.
Remember, too, this is not the final Team USA that will travel to Paris. There's a larger pool of players that will be chosen from. That's a traveling violation on Puckett. USA basketball has another exhibition game a week from today against Duke. And the roster will kind of flip a little bit as a couple of more players, including Kelsey Plum, Arike Ogunbowale, will be a part of that game. And so they're just kind of getting started to get ready for Paris in 2024.
De'Erica Hamby will also join them at Duke.
Taurasi to Griner, and a patient finish. Griner now has 8, the lead at 25. Top of the key, no, that was Striplin. Lady Vols have yet to score in this third quarter. Griner with position, double team, doesn't matter, free throws coming.
Watch Diana Taurasi turn the corner right here. That's a hips and shoulders game right there, Roy. You get your hips and shoulders past the defender and then throw it up to 6'9".
Solves a lot of problems for you on the court, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Griner did a few dunks during warm-ups.
Easily. Former #1 draft pick. Gold medalist in the 2020 Olympics. National champion at Baylor in 2012.
There are 6 #1 draft picks on this 10-player roster for USA basketball.
That's talent.
Yes. It's really fun to watch.
She's got 10, Brittany Griner.
What a great way to start the college basketball season, right? Sunday
For us,
night
it is.
in Knoxville.
Yeah. Crowd still on its feet awaiting the first points of the third quarter for the Lady Vols, and a jump ball. Atkins working hard against Wells that time.
See, the ball pressure is really good. And see, this is where I think the USA women's basketball team has shown their three-level defense. They've been good on the ball. They've had great rotation. And then you got the ultimate shot blocker at the front of the rim. That's 3 levels of defense. There's only a couple of college teams I can say that about. South Carolina is one of them.
Well, you and I were talking earlier. Gamecocks historically a year ago, literally the best defensive performance we've ever seen by a team.
I think it's historically the best defensive team we've ever seen based on field goal percentage D, scoring D, and block shots. They just happen to go up against maybe the greatest offensive player that we have seen in Caitlin Clark in the Final Four.
Copper, pretty finish. Well, the Final Four to me is still the big story to start this season, and what Caitlin Clark did in that upset against Dawn Staley's Gamecocks. The number of people that watched that game at well over 5 million. And then in the championship between LSU and Iowa, Debbie, close to 10 million, 9.9 tuned in, a record-setting viewership. And listen, who knows what to expect this year, but it put the sport kind of front and center. And if you compare it to just what we saw in the World Series, I mean, that graphic right there speaks volumes about where the sport is going and where it was just last season.
Well, I always say the product is the narrative, and the product delivers. And if you're paying attention, and you were one of those 9.9 million people, it's our job to keep you, right? The players are going to do their thing. All the stakeholders in the game need to make sure that they have a recognition of the moment that we're in right now, and we have to take advantage of it. That's part of the reason why USA Basketball is playing these exhibition games and why Kelly Harper agreed to do it. She knows as the head coach at Tennessee, she has a responsibility to help the game continue to evolve and grow, and that's why she's playing this game. You're going to have some great film to look at with her team because you're not going to play against anybody like this the rest of the year. What a great way to set the tone for November and the tough non-conference schedule that Coach Harper's going to put in front of her team.
She played in an exhibition game like this against Team USA back in 1995.
She said that her first time up the floor, Nikki McCray stole the ball from her and went down for a layup.
Welcome to the big time.
And we've seen that tonight a little bit with the backcourt of Tennessee. But, you know, this is a really good ball pressure by USA women's basketball team, and they're making it difficult. You heard Diana at halftime say we took a few things away. They've taken away the entry pass. It's been difficult to enter the ball to the wing. So you have to be able to counter. And so when you can't get the ball to the wing, then you counter running things through the middle of third of the floor. And Coach Harper will solve that with her team.
Griner was stripped. Here comes Powell. In transition to Darby. That's her spot. And it goes down. Darby with 6 first points of our second half for the Lady Vols. Taurasi tried to swipe it over to Griner. Lost the handle out of bounds.
For Team USA.
10 points, 3 boards. She'll get a breather. Aaliyah Boston checks in, and Aaliyah said earlier today, it's like I was just here, of course, playing for South Carolina, the WNBA Rookie of the Year. What a luxury USA Basketball is. Aaliyah really starting to develop and take her game to the next level already as a national champion in Columbia and a 2-time National Player of the Year in college. So out of the timeout, Boston is on the floor. Lady Vols back to work and looking for Hollingshed. That's out of bounds.
Again,
stay on this end.
Yeah, ball pressure here. You know, you got to be strong with the ball. You have to ball fake. Got to get better with the rhythm of your execution in the quarter court, and it is November, and all those things will get better.
It's still early. We've got a lot of basketball left. There's a steal. Ionescu ahead to Laney. In and out off the glass, and the rebound controlled eventually by Powell. Tamari Key checks in. It's great to see Tamari Key back on the floor this year. Only played 9 games at Tennessee a season ago. Blood clots were found in her lungs. And now she's getting back into kind of basketball shape that Kelly Harper needs her to be at this year with her size. Her skill set certainly be a big-time difference maker in the SEC.
Well, I was mentioning 3-level defenses, and she gives them that 3rd level, and there's a turnover.
Easy bucket for Copper.
You know, I think it is early, and you know, when you're going against a team that pressures like this, you have to have certain pressure relievers already built into your system, like dribble entries to the wing, high post entries, ball fakes, back doors. We haven't seen Tennessee go backdoor yet. You know, you need all those things, and it's early, and they'll build those into their system because you're going to have it against the SEC, which is a league known for defense.
What do you think about the schedule going against LSU, South Carolina? How about this play? Inside and a foul called. Ionescu picks up the personal. That was right off the back, and a smile from Tess Darby.
Well, that's one way to relieve pressure. You put that in the pressure package, throw it off somebody's backside. That's a heads-up play by Darby.
When you think about Tess Darby's game, she led the Lady Vols in 3-pointers last year with 70, 41% from downtown, Debbie, and much going to be expected her skill set this year. That's the first free throw attempt of the night for Tennessee.
Well, I mean, Darby made 73s and she made 22, so what do you think that says about her scouting report? She runs the floor hard and she gets open. It'll be up to Destiny Wells and Jasmine Powell and others to find her.
And Wells transitioning in from Belmont, where she had an incredible career. First team all MVC each of the last 2 seasons. Young was hit hard in a late whistle and the foul was called. And she hit the hardwood. Jackie Young, another one of those #1 draft picks. Las Vegas Aces back in 2019. And Key picks up the personal. 2-time WNBA champion. Leading scorer in Indiana high school history for both the boys and the girls. Think about that for a moment. You see her pro bio. But Indiana basketball, that's saying something.
It sure is. What a great 3-point shooter Jackie has developed into. This year she led the league at 44.9%. I'd like to give her that 45, but Sabrina was at 44.8, so it's worth noting.
But a defense shown by Young on this possession as well. USA basketball getting after it. Shot clock did not reset. Hollingshed rejected by Boston. Now the action back and forth. We haven't seen a ton of points by either side in this quarter. It's just 11-4. Key with position, and Young swatted that one away.
Good read from the backside by Ionescu.
Boston in transition. How about that? Rolls it in.
Yeah, at 6'5", you can give her the basketball and the move like that, and she can finish.
Her first points of the night. Now every player on the USA basketball roster has scored. Lead up to 30, the largest of the night.
Can't impede the ball handler, and that time Ryan Howard did. Good ball pressure on Hollingshed. She had her uncomfortable. She can't body him when they put it on the floor.
Hollingshed will go to the free throw line. Tamari Key sit down for the moment. Kia Jackson led the Lady Vols in scoring the first half with 13. She's yet to crack the scoring column so far in the second. Jillian Hollingshed, 65% at the line a year ago. Get one more. Started her career at Georgia. 36 games off the bench last season. Nearly 50% from the floor. 1 of 2 at the line. First meeting between these two programs since 2007.
4 out, 1 in.
And the 3, it's all net for Ryan Howard.
See, Jackie Young puts it right in Ryan Howard's shooting pocket. Really good detail for a really good shooter and passer.
I'm curious to see what the shooting percentage does on the perfect pass right in that perfect position versus
it's going to go
an
up,
inch
boy.
off. Right.
It's going to go up.
Of course. I'm sure we have those measurements somewhere.
That's what I'm talking about right here. Look at the separation. Good ball movement, and look how quickly Ryan Howard gets her feet set behind the arc.
Howard averaged almost 20 points per game against the Lady Vols in her career at Kentucky. Rookie of the year was 2 years ago.
Ryan went 5-2 against Tennessee. So
Pretty
she
good.
had a winning record when she was a player at Kentucky.
That's what she's telling you right now. Alicia Gray will push tempo for a moment. Ionescu off the screen. Nearly stolen by Strickland, the Pitt transfer.
I remember when Ryan Howard was playing her senior year at Kentucky, and there was all this conversation about her body language and did she take plays off or how hard was she working? Nonsense. I mean, you knew she was a pro from day one. I mean, anybody who said that about her should publicly take it back.
Retract that statement.
Retract it.
Boston inside. She's got 4 in our third quarter. Hollingshed against Boston. Good matchup here. Hollingshed wins it. Jackie Young wide open, thought about it.
Oh, good backdoor.
And
nice
inside.
Look. Really nice cut.
Jackie Young with 11 points.
There's an art and a science to being a good cutter. You know, the science part is you got to cut hard, right? The art part is when, timing, how it fits in the rhythm, how it fits into space.
Strickland was bumped. Shot clock under 10. Strickland, no. Ionescu the rebound. We will touch base with USA Basketball head coach Cheryl Reeve coming up to start our fourth quarter. Invite you to stick around for that. Talk with Kelly Harper to start the second quarter earlier tonight.
You see, that's Boston erasing that mistake in transition by not stopping the ball.
Ionescu off the mark. 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock.
There's a good cut. Now it opens up the space for a one-on-one opportunity.
She's had success in the post, not this time.
That's a pretty good move, though.
Jackie Young wide open from 30. 72-39, 3 quarters in the books.
You know, 10 juniors, seniors, and fifth-year players. This is a veteran-heavy team. Kelly Harper went into the portal and got 3 excellent players, and they have all contributed tonight.
Head coach of USA Basketball joins us now. Cheryl Reeve, we appreciate the time. 3 quarters in, how would you evaluate how a team of pros has played so far?
Well, I think we sort of found our way. I think defensively we really defined ourselves in this game. The first quarter we gave up 7 offensive rebounds. You know, we knew going into this thing that was not going to be a good idea. We settled in and we cleaned that up.
All this talk about chemistry, trying to put a team together, Cheryl, but on the defensive end, where would you assess that chemistry? Because your ball pressure has been outstanding.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I thought that they bought into that, and we won the World Cup. That's how we played, and this team is buying into it. You know, just make everything a little more difficult. You know, whether we're fighting the post and seeking deflections and be able to play off of that. That's really helped our offense.
The 4-out, 1-in look that you have to go with only 2 post players here, is that a look that you think can be successful in the international scene?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily about that. You know, we'll have probably bigger players when it comes to that, but I think just being able to space the floor is what's been big. Utilizing the group that's here, you know, a lot of perimeter players. I think they've enjoyed playing this way.
Coach, we've enjoyed watching your team, getting to know you guys a little bit. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, and thanks to the Lady Vols and Coach Harper for having us.
Cheryl Reeve, head coach for USA Basketball, joining us here.
It's been quite a display by USA Basketball. They look connected. They are playing with a certain pace. They push in transition. They run the floor hard. They compete. You know, when you're trying to put chemistry together, it's those that want to compete, right? And they all do. They're all 10 trying to make a spot on the Olympic team.
Just one of our questions to her today, how do you bring the roster together? And she said, well, when you play for Team USA, you realize it's for the name across the front of the jersey. And you have to be egoless to accept that, understand that, and know you don't have to be the hero with a roster with this much talent at any particular time. And once you understand that, you're kind of ready to go. And that certainly makes sense. And I think we've seen that on display.
I don't think there's any question. I mean, it's going to be exciting to watch their run through their training camp. As Jewel Spear hits a triple, they're going to a training camp in Atlanta before they play that next exhibition game.
A couple of days in the ATL before traveling up to Durham. That's an important bucket for Spear. Transfer from Wake Forest. He led the ACC in scoring as a sophomore. She's been dealing with an ankle injury, so this is her first real action after missing the first exhibition game that went against Carson Newman. What do you think Spear can do here in the SEC?
See, I'll tell you, Roy, she was a volume shooter at Wake Forest. Every night she had the best defender. She's excellent in the two-man game, and she can shoot the three, obviously. I think she brings an incredible offensive weapon to balance out what Rickea Jackson does. I can't wait to see them in a two-man game. I mean, I thought that was going to be an example of it right there, and Jackson went the other way.
Strickland the runner now. Ionescu. Great bounce pass and a good look. Layup is short. Free throws coming for Alicia Gray. Spear will have 2 years of eligibility here in Knoxville, originally from Texas.
I mean, she won't get the best defender every night now, right? That's still going to be Rickea Jackson. But on the perimeter, as the season evolves, Destiny Wells will be an option. Avery Strickland will be an option. And then plus all the shooters that Kelly Harper already has coming back that are capable, including Sarah Puckett and Tess Darby. I mean, this is a well put together team. I'm telling you, this team's upside is tremendous.
Well, for joining us late, you actually said this is one of your teams that you feel like, I don't want to use the word sleeper, but could be a Final Four contender by the time it's all said and done.
I think there's a lot of pieces that you have to check off. You know, can you play good enough defense? Can you take care of the basketball? Do you have enough shot makers? You know, do you have a go-to player? And they do. They have those things. Now, Tamara Key will be really important as the season goes on because that size at 6'6" at the rim that most teams won't have every night. And she's already a proven shot blocker. So that gives you that 3 levels of your defense. Ball pressure, the ability to rotate. We've seen them take some charges tonight. And then her shot blocking presence on the inside. And now you start to talk about being complete and checking all the boxes. And Rickea Jackson can take away any of those weaknesses or mistakes that you have because she can be an All-American. Well, I think, yes, this is a team given the right seeding in the NCAA tournament. It'll be important. Seeding's important because we have a lot of balance in the game now.
Stanford found that out last year facing Ole Miss. Early rounds, number 1 seed ejected, or rather eliminated, as you see Kelly Harper.
And Tennessee was picked to finish 3rd. I mean, LSU is loaded. Kim Mulkey has a must-see team, and Angel Reese, I think. I mean, I'm going out on a limb here, you know, but I don't think it's that far of a stretch. I think she could lead the team in assists because I think she can get it off the glass and go.
When you add Haley Van Lith to the mix there in Baton Rouge, that's interesting.
And Anisha Morrow, who good luck getting a rebound against LSU between those two.
Oh my gosh.
And then don't sleep on Michaela Williams. I mean, that's the #1 recruit in the country, along with Juju Watkins. Depending on which Juju Watkins is at Southern Cal, it depends on which poll you look at. But Williams can make some shots now. and then South Carolina second. You know, they play tomorrow night in Paris. We've been spending all this time talking about Paris. How about Notre Dame and South Carolina?
Top 10
tomorrow?
showdown across the pond.
I mean, awesome.
1 o'clock, ESPN, the place to be. The first ever regular season game played in Paris. Cardoso, Citron, amongst many of the stars that will be involved in that matchup.
I mean, Cardoso, with her frame at the rim, is tough to defend for anyone. She brings tremendous size, and then, you know, Notre Dame has a freshman point guard, and Sonia Citron is a first-team All-ACC guard and is a very good shot maker. It should be a fun matchup.
I think the amazing thing this year is, a year ago at this time, it was, can South Carolina go undefeated, win another national championship? Caitlin Clark, LSU,
Virginia
Kim
Tech.
Mulkey, everybody kind of comes in there at the end, and now a year later, it's can LSU go back-to-back, and who is best positioned to unseat the Tigers? And look, maybe it ends up being South Carolina this year, ironically, or some other team.
Roy, when I say you can't miss the moment, you know, like we're in a moment right now in the game, and Iowa hasn't missed it. They put 55,646,000 people in the football stadium for a game. That's a Caitlin Clark effect. And on Thursday night on our air on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock, we will have Virginia Tech and Iowa. That is a made-for-TV, made-for-the-fans event in Charlotte, which is they've already sold over 10,000 tickets for that event. I can give you 9.9 million reasons why people are going to be watching that game.
Well, Elizabeth Kitley, the ACC Player of the Year, what she's able to do inside, averaging a double-double a year ago. Worth the price of admission against Caitlin Clark. You see the numbers, they're still staggering to look at. Over 27 per game, the three-point shooting, the range.
And Virginia Tech is picked to win the ACC. There's nobody sleeping on them anymore. Kenny Brooks has done a fantastic job. Georgia Amore had one of the best NCAA tournament runs in history that we've seen as the point guard. She's the best point guard in the ACC, one of the best point guards in the country.
They have a great, no surprise there, but the great rivalry and all the words about Lady Vols program, Pat Summitt, it's great to hear.
I mean, this might be arguably the greatest winner we've ever seen in the history of our game. And she just has done so many things to impact and influence basketball around the world. I am enjoying every moment that we get to spend with her, watch her play, enjoy her brilliance in the twilight of her career. She is 41 years of age. She doesn't look like it, nor does she play like it.
Does not play like it for sure with what we've seen. Rebound up and in, and a chance for three for Kaya Wynn, the junior guard. I will tell you, I did get a picture.
Yes, you have to.
I got a picture with DT, and I was at the front of a very long line of people in the building right after shoot-around this morning with USA Basketball.
It's a pleasure to be around her. She's got incredible energy. She loves the game. It's fun, you know, and talking to her about just about the game is just really interesting. I mean, I love watching her interaction with her teammates. And you can see why she's been such a great winner, because she has made others around her better.
After the block by Key.
That's what I'm talking about at the front of the rim, right? See, here's one thing about handling this ball pressure. As you take a look at this block right here, this is great recovery by Key. And then you got to quickly strike up the floor, run the floor hard. But the Tennessee team has had a lot of tips and deflections because they haven't handled the physicality of the defense that USA Basketball has brought tonight. So you got to play the game low to high. You got to play the hips and shoulders game. You got to ball fake. You got to swipe it through. You got to be strong with the ball.
Puckett got tangled up with Atkins.
What I always teach when I'm doing clinics is, when in doubt, drop your hips. Get lower. When you feel that kind of pressure, protect the ball. Play the game low. Get lower than your defender. That's how you beat them.
3.5 seconds on the shot clock for the Lady Vols. He pops open. Long two, too strong. Ionescu to Griner, and the spin results in 2 free throws. Well, there were a lot of great moments this morning after USA Basketball wrapped up its practice. Lady Vols were invited in, talked to the players. Brittany Griner and Tamari Key spoke a long period of time about a myriad of different topics, but then Griner and Taurasi, Analia Boston addressed the entire group, just talking about their time in college, what it meant, and just to make sure to enjoy all these moments. But it was just neat to see for half an hour Lady Vols and Team USA just hanging out, talking hoops, talking life.
I think one of the things Diana Taurasi asked them about is they still have to go to study hall. And they said yes, all the time we're in study hall.
May have to go more now than you ever have. Copper in transition lays it in. Well, she's got 12 points. Just behind Jackie Young's 13 for USA Basketball.
So have these players.
Darby off the mark. Defense inside. Every passing lane seems to close quickly against this team.
I've been impressed with their defense. It's got to be fun for USA Basketball. They go against each other. It's so competitive in a W every night. Get a chance to play together, travel together.
Ionescu the steal. Ahead to Laney. Blocked by Griner. Back-to-back easy buckets for 14 in red, white, and blue. 89-47, 2.5 to play on Rocky Top. Regular season starts on Tuesday for the Lady Vols. Florida A&M comes to town, and we told you about the schedule after that. It gets very difficult very quickly for a team that's expected to be in the upper tier of the Southeastern Conference this year. Kelly Harper in year number 5. I think you kind of design that schedule in a way that will benefit you come conference play. Look, at number 4, Coach Yo and Ole Miss, nobody wants to deal with that team and what they did last year and what they have coming back.
I was texting with her before the game because I wanted to know, how's it going? What you got? You know, I'm looking forward to watching Kennedy Todd Williams transfer from North Carolina. I think she could be a triple-double. There's a lot of good players returning. 62% of their offense returns, but they're preseason ranked number 12, which is the highest they've been in the preseason since '95.
Darby from downtown, a sophomore from Greenfield, Tennessee. Made 2 field goals last year, makes 1 here tonight. We were in Stanford last year. Ole Miss took out the number 1 seed Cardinal that night. There was nothing flukish about what they were able to do there. It was impressive. It was dominant defensively. And they just willed themselves to an upset of sorts, but they were very impressive. And Coach Joe, the job she's done rebuilding that program. Keep it to mid-range.
I'm looking forward to seeing Stanford. I've got them next Sunday against Indiana at home. I've got Iowa and Virginia Tech on Thursday night. Some good basketball coming up this week.
We have some great games coming up.
It's time. You know, it is time. Let's get after it.
November has arrived. Regular season is here. 92-52. It's been a fun night tonight. It's much deeper and much more impactful and meaningful than the score. And for USA Basketball, it is on to Atlanta, then to Durham next weekend. And their journey really is only starting right now. A couple of practices and now a game in the books. more free throw coming for Wynn. Kaya Wynn, the junior from Richmond, Texas. She's got 5.
There's 1 minute left in the game.
Ionescu, dump off to Griner. Outside to Laney. How about that ball movement?
Yeah, inside out, piece of the paint. Good fundamentals.
Laney with 14 points tonight. USA basketball 11 for 22 from the floor. 56% from the court for these 4 quarters. Strickland, that's a 3.
Another weapon outside the arc. I'm telling you, Tennessee's going to be fine. They're going to be really good when we get to February. And that's when the hardest part of their schedule is, and it's at home in the conference.
Shot clock is off for Kaya Wynn. You've got the A-list games coming up. I'm be curious to see what your opinion is of some of those teams.
I'm going to see a lot of hoops in the next 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to it. It's time, Roy. Come on,
yes,
man. Let's
it
go.
is. It is.
This is a really important season overall for all the stakeholders around the game, and everybody has to do a little bit more of their job well. Administrators, the NCAA, coaches, players, officials, and broadcasters.
I was going to say, you looked at me with a stern look. Play-by-play broadcasters, make sure that we're on high alert this
We got to
year.
cover the product the way the product should be covered.
No question. Great way to start the season tonight. 7 for Wynn, and for USA basketball, good start. Their march to Paris and searching for another gold medal. 95-59, our final score. Debbie Antonelli, final thoughts on what we saw here tonight in Knoxville.
चल के बा बंदे के ए भोला समय पे सेल भमिया तोहार सिर्फ संडे के बुझो जी अब करे हमारे इंतजार पिसन संडे के सुन खुशी नी चुनी रो मलक देवी रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो सिमरा।